The shadows of the late day stretch long and thin across the transept where the dust mote stands, in the dying amber of the stained glass. It is 7 in the evening on a Sunday that feels like a slow intake of breath before the world turns its heavy face towards the coming week. Inside the hollowed stone of the Catholic sanctuary, the air is thick with the scent of extinguished beeswax and the lingering ghost of incense that clings to the velvet curtains of the confessional. There is a specific silence that only exists here at this hour. A silence that is not an absence of sound, but a deliberate preparation for the first note to break the surface of the stillness. We stand in a semicircle, the 4 pillars of the human voice arranged in a geometric grace of soprano, awaiting the invisible downbeat of a spirit that moves between the rafters. Jacques Berthier's ghost breathes through the open pages of the score, where the notes sit like small black birds on a wire, waiting for the signal to take flight. The music of Taizé does not seek to conquer the ear with grandiosity, but to erode the ego through the persistent, gentle friction of repetition. It is an ostinato of the soul, a revolving door of prayer that allows the mind to step out of time and into the eternal pulse of the present. We begin with a hum that rises from the floorboards, a resonance that vibrates in the soles of our feet before it ever reaches the throat. The basses provide the bedrock, a deep and subterranean earth upon which the architecture of the liturgy is built. Their voices are the heavy stones of the foundation, moss-covered and ancient, holding the weight of the temple with a stoic and unyielding hum. Then the tenors weave their silver thread through the middle air, a melody that yearns upward like smoke from a votive candle. They sing of the long watch, of the night, of the vigil that never ends, of the heart that remains awake while the city sleeps in its fever of steel and neon. The altos bring the warmth of a heart fire, their voices a rich mahogany that fills the gaps between the high and the low, creating a texture of domestic holiness. They are the compassion in the chords, the inner harmony that understands the weariness of the weak and offers a place of rest within the cadence. And finally, the sopranos let loose a thin crystalline line of light that pierces the darkness of the nave. It is a sound like the first star appearing in the violet sky above the bell tower, a high and fragile longing that reaches for the hem of the divine. Wait for the Lord is the command, and the promise whispered in a 4-part harmony that cycles like the seasons or the tides. It is not a passive waiting of the idle, but the active waiting of the watchman on the wall, the tension of the bowstring before the arrow is released, the silence of the earth before the seed breaks the crust. In this 7 o'clock hour, the church becomes a vessel, a ship of stone, sailing through the indigo currents of the twilight. The repetition of the phrase becomes a mantra that strips away the vanity of the self until there is nothing left but the breath and the word and the shared vibration of 50 hearts beating in a synchronized rhythm. We are no longer individuals with names and grievances and histories. We are a single instrument played by the wind of the liturgy. The architecture of the church responds to our offering as the sound bounces off the vaulted ceiling and returns to us softened and blurred by the distance. It is as if the stones themselves are singing back, echoing the centuries of prayers that have saturated the mortar. This is the genius of the Taizé tradition. It turns the congregation into a monastery of the moment, where the simplest truth is refined in the crucible of the collective voice. As the sun disappears entirely and the only light remains in the flickering tongues of the candles on the altar, the music deepens in hue. The minor thirds resolve into major chords like a fever breaking or a door swinging open into a room full of light. We sing until the air is saturated with the presence of what we are waiting for. Wait for the Lord, whose day is near. The words lose their semantic edges and become pure texture, a velvet blanket laid over the anxieties of the mundane world. In this Catholic space, where every shadow is pregnant with ritual, the choir becomes between the visible and the invisible. We are the stewards of this specific Sunday transition, the priests of the evening atmosphere, holding the space between the sacred rest and the secular labor. When the last note finally fades, it does not truly end, but lingers in the ear as a phantom resonance, a hum that continues in the marrow of the bones. Long after we have closed our books and walked out into the cool night air, inside the hollowed stone of the Catholic sanctuary, the air's thick with the scent of extinguished beeswax and the lingering ghost of incense that clings to the velvet curtains of the confession.
Within the calcified silence of the high stone, keep where the air tastes of ancient dust and forgotten masonry, the daughter of the East remains enshrined in an architecture of isolation. Not of iron nor of common clay was her spirit forged, but of the subterranean light that illuminates the veins of the earth before the miner's pick ever strikes the quartz. O Barbara, most radiant architect of the inner sanctuary, you who looked upon the two windows of your father's design and commanded a third to be hewn into the living rock, that the triple radiance of the undivided essence might bathe your soul in a geometry of grace. The stone groaned under the weight of your conviction, and the mortar yielded to the pressure of a faith that knew no perimeter and no boundary save the celestial. Your father Dioscorus built a citadel to hide your beauty from the world, yet he succeeded only in creating a laboratory for your sanctity, where the silence became a liturgy and the shadows became a choir of invisible witnesses. When the sky bruiseth to a shade of violet and sulfur, when the atmosphere thickens with the premonition of a galvanic descent, we look to the horizon where your name is whispered by the artillerymen and the engineers of the deep. You are the mistress of the flash and the thunder, the patroness of the sudden transition from the temporal to the eternal, as the lightning leaped from the firmament to strike the one who raised the sword against his own blood. So too does your intercession strike the calamities that threaten to overwhelm our fragile dwellings. There is a metallic tang in the air, a scent of scorched ozone and scorched earth that signals your arrival as the protectress of those who walk through fire and those who delve into the damp, dark bellies of the world, seeking the riches of the stone. You hold the chalice against the storm, ensuring that the final viaticum is never denied to the soul caught in the sudden collapse of the tunnel, or the sudden burst of the flame. In the digital echoes of our modern exploration, where the faith is shared in fragments of light and brief moments of recognition, your image flickers like a persistent flame across the screens of the weary. You are not a relic of the Nicomedean dust, but a living current, a pulse of electricity that surges through the wires of our interconnected longing. The tower you inhabited has become the icon of every soul, seeking a vertical escape from the horizontal mundanity of a world without wonder. Every stone of your prison was a syllable in a poem of resistance. Every shadow was a canvas for the Holy Spirit to paint the mysteries of the Trinity. You saw the three windows as the eyes of God, watching over the soul in its darkest confinement. And you taught us that even in a fortress of solitude, one can find the architecture of the infinite. The sword that ended your earthly breath became the lightning that guards the heavens. And now you stand amidst the clouds with the palm of victory and the tower of your endurance. Let the mountains tremble and the skies roar with the heavy percussion of the storm. For in the center of the tempest, there is the stillness of Barbara. You are the armor of the miner, the shield of the smith, and the guide of the sailor, caught in the electric fury of the sea. Your praise is not a soft melody of flutes, but a resonant anthem of bronze and iron, a hymn that echoes in the hollow chambers of the earth and the vast cathedrals of the clouds. We invoke your name when the fuse is lit, and when the hammer falls for you are the lady of the blast, who masters the energy of the cosmos and tames the wildfire for the sake of the humble. Through the corridors of history, your light travels faster than the sound of the thunder that follows it, a brilliant precursor to the divine judgment that clarifies the air. We are but explorers in a world of shadows, seeking the music of your steadfast heart in the rhythmic pounding of the rain. From the heights of your celestial tower, look down upon the flickering lights of our small lives and grant us the courage to carve our own windows into the walls of our circumstances, that we might never be without the triple light of the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. May our faith be as unyielding as the granite of your prison, and our transition into the eternal be as swift and as illuminated as the bolt that vindicated your martyrdom. In the silence, the twilights between the flashes of our existence, we find your praise carved into the very substance of the universe, a testament to the Virgin who became the master of the storm.
guardian of the hidden fire.
The charcoal thumbprint marks the chronometer of the soul, a gray geometry traced upon the brow, where thoughts of vanity once resided in high palaces of glass. This is the first of 30 movements, the initial vibration of a string stretched tight across the canyon of the self, humming with the frequency of pulverized bone and spent embers. We begin not in the garden of delights, but in the kiln of the desert, where the atmosphere is thick with the scent of calcined pride and the salt of ancient, unwept tears. Each grain of dust is a syllable of a long-forgotten language, a vocabulary of mortality that speaks of the wind's inheritance and the soil's patient hunger. Here, the journey is measured not in leagues, but in the deepening of the breath, a descent into the subterranean galleries of the heart, where the echoes of 30 distinct songs begin to resonate against the damp stone of our secret shames. Forgiveness arrives, not as a sudden thunderclap, but as a slow medicinal seep, a golden unguent dripping from the eaves of a sanctuary we had long since boarded up and abandoned to the spiders. It is the second movement of the cycle, a quiet unraveling of the knots we tied in our own veins, a loosening of the iron collars we mistook for jewelry. To be healed is to be broken correctly, to allow the great physician to reset the fractured geometry of our intentions until the marrow flows with the clarity of mountain brooks. We offer up our scars as if they were votive candles, watching as the wax of our defensiveness melts under the gaze of a mercy that does not blink. The 30 songs are 30 bandages, 30 stitches in the side of a world that has forgotten how to bleed without bitterness, a rhythmic pulse that synchronizes the heartbeat of the penitent with the ticking of the eternal clock. The journey steepens where the shadows of the olive trees stretch like long, dark fingers across the path, grasping at the hem of our resolve. We carry the weight of 30 winters in our lungs, yet as we climb, the air grows thin and luminous, purged of the heavy vapors of the valley. The path is littered with the shards of idols we broke along the way, shattered porcelain of reputation, rusted iron of resentment, the brittle husks of our own self-sufficiency. Each station is a stanza, each mile a melody composed of the crunch of gravel beneath sandals and the whistling of the spirit through the hollow reeds of our poverty. We are travelers between two silences, the silence of the tomb and the silence of the stars, moving through a purple dusk, where the only map is the constellation of wounds that light the way toward a hill we both fear and desire. As the cycle nears its zenith, the songs turn from the minor keys of the lament to the dissonant, terrifying beauty of the sacrifice. The wood of the tree groans under the weight of a love that refuses to descend, a love that absorbs the poison of every age and transmutes it into the wine of a new covenant. We stand at the intersection of the horizontal earth and the vertical heaven,
watching the alchemy of the passion turn the lead of our transgressions into the gold of a boundless inheritance. The healing is complete when the last drop of resistance is spent, when the 30 songs converge into a single cry that rends the veil of the temple and the veil of our own misunderstanding. We are buried in the garden of our own potential, wrapped in the linen of a profound and holy expectation, wading through the stone to discover its own weightlessness. Then comes the morning of the emerald light, the dawn, the taste of wild honey and ancient fire, shattering the architecture of the grave with a whisper that sounds like the birth of a galaxy. The resurrection is not a memory, but a current, a tidal wave of vitality that sweeps through the 30 chambers of our journey, washing the ash from our faces and replacing it with the radiance of an unquenchable sun. The scars remain, but they have become windows. The wounds are now wells of living water where the thirsty may drink. We emerge from the journey no longer as creatures of the dust, but as heirs to the morning, carrying the 30 songs in our mouths like silver coins to be spent on the port. The journey from ashes is finished, and the journey into the light has only just begun. A sacred Catholic odyssey where every death is a door and every breath is a hymn of everlasting restoration.
The great pipes groan with the weight of ancient stone, inhaling the dust of centuries to exhale the breath of the living word. Under the vaulted ribs of the nave, the diapason swells, a thundering heartbeat that precedes the first footfall of the faithful. It is the melody of Bunison, a tune forged in the mist of the Hebrides, rising now like a slow-burning sun over the granite altar. The organist pulls the stops of history, and the music becomes a physical architecture, a sanctuary made of air and vibration, where the spirit may finally unbuckle its heavy armor. Here, the silence is not an absence, but a preparation, a clearing of the inner thicket so that the word may walk among the trees of our thoughts.
Christ be the compass when the needle of the soul spins wildly in the magnetic storm of the world. Beside me, He is the unyielding wall of diamond that deflects the arrows of the noonday devil. Before me,
He is the pillar of cloud that makes a path through the trackless desert of the mundane. The choir begins its ascent, their voices weaving a tapestry of polyphonic certainty, layering the air with the scent of frankincense and the texture of worn velvet. Each syllable of the lorica is a stitch in a celestial breastplate, binding the heart to the hearth of the Trinity. There is no space where He is not, for the music proves that even the gaps between the notes are filled with His intentional grace. In the mouth of the stranger, Christ is the sudden warmth of an unexpected welcome. In the eye of the friend, He is the light that does not flicker when the shadows grow long. The hymn moves with a pastoral rhythm, a gentle swaying of wheat in a sanctified wind. Yet it carries the weight of a mountain. To sing Bunison is to acknowledge the morning of the world, the primal moment when the Creator first hummed the universe into being. The choir's unison is a declaration of singular purpose, a gathered strength that says, we are not orphans of the stars, but children of a Father who walks the dusty roads of our daily failures.
Beneath the soles of my feet,
Christ is the bedrock
that does not crumble,
that does not crumble.
when the floods of sorrow
Rise to the chin
above me.
He is the vaulted sky, the limit of my ambition,
In the floor
of my ultimate hope. The organ's pedal tones vibrate in the marrow of the bone, reminding the flesh that it was made from the red clay of the earth and destined for the golden light of the resurrection.
there is a sacred,
Geometry in this protection
it is a circle
that excludes nothing but fear, a boundary that marks the soul as the sovereign territory of the King. The melody repeats, circling the altar of the mind, refining the will until the self is but a transparent window for the eternal light to pass through. As the final stanza gathers its breath, the choir expands into a glorious dissonance that resolves into a peace, passing all understanding.
Christ be in my sleeping,
Christ be in my waking, the constant rhythm of a heart that has found its home. The last chord of the organ does not truly end. It merely retreats into the stones of the cathedral, a latent resonance that will hum within the silence of the week to come. The lyrics remain etched upon the inner eyelid, a vision of a Savior who is both the shield on the arm and the path under the feet. When the doors swing open to the glare of the street, we carry the Bunison dawn within us, a secret armor of song that no clamor of the city can ever truly pierce. In the shadow of the Pyrenean peaks, where the wind carves the stone into needles of ice, there lived a small breath of a girl, a flicker in the damp gloom of the cachot. The walls of her world tasted of salt and ancient hunger, yet her hands held the worn wood of the beads, as if it were the only warmth left in the hollow of the earth. Bernadette, small sister of the brambles, gatherer of dry wood along the banks of the Gave, you did not seek the thrones of the valley or the gold of the cathedral spires, for your eyes were tuned to a frequency of the unseen, a quiet hum beneath the roar of the mountain water that others mistook for silence. Massabielle waited like a mouth of earth, dark and forgotten by the respectable, a sanctuary for the refuse of the river, and the prayers of the desperate who had nowhere else to turn. Then came the tremor in the leaves of the wild rose, a rustle that was not the north wind, but the stirring of a celestial garment. A lady of light stood in the niche, clothed in the brilliance of 1,000 midnights. Turned to noon, her feet graced